rush to your door and to your store.
Everybody's playing with the new Whammo hula hoop.
Chevrolet introduces the new Motoramic Chevrolet.
Remember the days when your favorite song was spinning on the radio as you dashed to the corner store for some candy? The evenings spent at the diner feeding the jukebox with coins to hear the latest hits, and ending the night with a family Howdy Duty session. If you grew up in the 1950s, you remember this. Drive-in theaters. The place that everybody hung out, from families to teenagers on a summer night to romantic first dates. Drive-in theaters were amongst the most iconic classic American pastime of the 50s. The concept dates back to 1933 when a car enthusiast from New Jersey invented the first ever drive-in. His idea was to mount a projector and put the films on the side of a building, and things eventually took off when he received a huge wave of appreciation. Drive-in theaters were an easier option. Couples could bring their children without worrying about a babysitter, and moreover, it turned out to be a wallet-friendly option as well. It offered more than popcorn, serving burgers, hot dogs, pizzas, and shakes, making the movie experience far superior. For the viewer's convenience, authorities allowed customers to bring their own snacks and even put children to sleep in the back seat. This was entirely at the mercy of the weather, and rain, wind, or cold temperatures could dampen the overall experience.
The fountain was built in 1958 by Stanley Knight, built in Chicago.
Soda fountains. A warm summer afternoon in a classic 50s diner, you'll hear the sizzle of burgers on the grill as you clink a glass filled straight from the soda fountain. Soda fountains were an American staple. These counters, often found in drugstores, diners, and malt shops, served carbonated drinks, milkshakes, cream sodas, and more. Initially, they were only found in pharmacies for medicinal purposes, but things eventually changed. Soda fountains became more than just places to grab a drink. They were a major social hotspot. It was common for teens to gather around after school and on the weekends, and the most popular offerings included root beer floats, cherry colas, and milkshakes, all served in tall glasses with straws and long spoons. People fell in love with the soda fountain so much, they had them installed in their own kitchens with a carbonator included.
The favorite of young and old alike, the smooth, flavor-rich cream, heaped and overflowing, delicious, and refreshing.
Ice cream trucks. Ice cream trucks were the symbol of hot summer days. The sound of the jingle became iconic. It swarmed the entire neighborhood as soon as they arrived at the corner of the block. The trucks would typically play familiar tunes like Turkey in the Straw or The Entertainer, creating a sense of excitement whenever they rolled into the neighborhood. Ice cream trucks offered a variety of frozen treats, from classic cones to sundaes and novelty items like popsicles and ice cream sandwiches. Some ice cream trucks offered fresh glazed donuts for 60 cents a dozen. Every driver had a unique name that children addressed them by. A chocolate malt cup with a wooden spoon, you could never go wrong. People bet that ice creams from the 50s tasted way better than they do now. Jukeboxes. An invention that created long-lasting memories and marked the onset of a legacy. Jukeboxes played a vital role in keeping people entertained at the rise of American pop culture. A jukebox is a coin-operated machine that played a selection of music from a variety of records, allowing users to choose their songs and enjoy them in a public space like a diner, a bar, and a dance hall. They became icons of the era. Found in every diner, soda shop, and more across America, popular songs of the time were readily available, and users would flock to the machines to hear the latest hits, contributing to the popularity of the jukebox as a trendsetter. In later years, technology took a turn, and jukeboxes fell out of fashion. Who would want to pay extra money for licensing songs, especially those bank-breaking Elvis and Beatles hits? Poodle skirts. A timeless classic worn by every woman in the 50s, the poodle skirt became an all-time favorite for a variety of reasons. Twirly skirts paired with saddle shoes, bobby socks, and blouses with ruffles were the trend that was loved by everyone. And the invention of these skirts comes with a funny story. Created by Julie Lynn Charlotte in 1947, a designer who needed a festive skirt to wear for the holidays but didn't know how to sew. Instead of stitching, she cut out felt shapes and glued them to a full circle skirt. Who knew it would become such a massive trend? It was a versatile piece of clothing, worn everywhere from formal work to college and school, and swing dancing teenagers often wore the skirts because they added uniformity to performances. Wearing them was not as easy as it may have seemed. Women used multiple layers to achieve the perfect shape, which was often difficult to manage.
Hey, the amazing new 63 Whammo hula hoops are here.
Hula hoops. Hula hoops attracted a wave of children and were also popular amongst adults, creating a long-lasting trend in the 1950s that endured for years. If you grew up in the 50s, you must have spent hours getting a hang of these colorful hoops. Kids loved having one around their waist and smaller ones on each of their arms. It not only was an affordable option of entertainment, but also helped children to stay fit and active at all times. When hula hoops first hit the market in 1958, they sold for under $2, an affordable price for a toy at the time. The low cost, coupled with its fun and active appeal, made it a must-have for every child in America. Children had never-ending competitions with the toy, which got them up and pumped their dopamine and adrenaline. Record players. With the rise of pop culture and the hunger for immersing oneself in music, record players eventually gained significant interest. The sound of vinyl records on a turntable playing music must have created core memories that are sure to be cherished by many. The record player, also known as the phonograph or the turntable, has its origins dating back to the late 19th century. Over the years, the quality of record players improved, and by the 1950s they had reached prime time. Once regarded as a sign of wealth, they soon became popular everywhere. They were affordable and a common household appliance. Besides televisions, record players were beloved by both children and adults, as TVs were only beginning to emerge back then. If you find any of these in your grandparents' attic or garage, clean them up and put them to work. They'll be just like new. S&H green stamps. A system with enticing incentives that gained immense popularity was S&H green stamps. These were a significant facet of American consumerism in the day. They were a type of trading stamp issued by Sperry and Hutchinson and were given as a reward for customer purchases at participating retailers. This allowed shoppers to accumulate the stamps that they could redeem for a variety of products. People were head over heels to collect them in exchange for a gift. The more you shopped, the more you got. It was a win-win situation. Once customers felt they had collected enough, they generally exchanged them for home and kitchen appliances, toys, musical instruments, and more. Sneaking green stamps to gift their loved ones was certainly a cute secret scheme that children often planned. The program encouraged customer loyalty, with many families returning to the store to accumulate more. I'm sure that many of you still remember how the stamps tasted, if you know what I mean. Rotary phones. Before the push-button dialing and smartphones, rotary phones were the only source of communication in the 50s. These phones lasted for generations due to the sturdy materials like bakelite or metal. The rotary phone had a circular dial with numbers from 0 to 9, and to make a call, you'd place your finger in the hole of the number you wanted to dial, turn it to the right until it stopped, and then let it go. The dial would rotate back to its original position. Its internal mechanism detected the clicks associated with each number, signaling to the switchboard to connect the call. However, if you made a mistake, you had to redial the number from the beginning, which was inefficient and often frustrating. Rotary phones did not require electricity. They They worked perfectly, even during a complete blackout. But you couldn't just roam around while talking. The phones were often bulky and attached to a cord, requiring you to stay near the phone to have a conversation. If you were tempted to buy one and wonder if it would still work, the answer is yes. Just ring up your service provider. TV Westerns. If you're looking for the answer to what shaped and styled the American entertainment industry, it would be the TV Western. This genre created a massive cultural phenomenon, featuring some of the iconic shows like Gunsmoke and Bonanza. It marked the milestone of the growing golden age of television. The appeal of Westerns were in their action-packed storylines, their morality lessons, and easily recognizable characters. Cowboys, outlaws, sheriffs, and more, the shows reflected the American spirit rooted in individualism, justice, and freedom. The catchphrases were often adored by children who looked up to these characters as their superheroes. TV Westerns had audiences of all age groups, allowing everyone to enjoy. They deeply influenced American culture, giving rise to cowboy fashion, Western-themed toys, and the ethics of the cowboy code. However, they certainly faced criticism and backlash for perpetuating harmful stereotypes, especially in the portrayal of Native Americans and other minority groups. Polio Vaccine Lines. A vaccine that came in handy and could cure the deadliest of disease. The polio vaccine became a critical public health priority due to the disease's potential to cause paralysis. This disease needed an end, and that's when the government launched a mass vaccination campaign. Schools, clinics, and other places became hubs for vaccination efforts, and the sight of long lines of parents and children just waiting to receive their vaccine became iconic. Although people initially had fears about ingesting something they were unsure about, many still opted to get vaccinated, given that it was the only solution to the polio virus. The polio vaccine queues were long and time-consuming, but it was all well worth it. People survived, but like every generation, there were critics, including anti-vaxxers who strongly opposed the idea. Home milk delivery. A wave of comfort during the post-war era was marked by luxury, efficiency, and convenience. Home milk delivery became popular for its ability to provide families with fresh milk right at their doorstep without the need to go to the store. This service was appreciated in suburban neighborhoods where families valued easy access to all of the essentials. The popularity of glass bottles and refrigerators made home milk delivery practical for everyday use. Local dairy farms and companies spearheaded the delivery service, with many families relying on nearby dairies for fresh milk. Prominent companies like Borden and Dean Foods expanded and flourished during this time. Running down the driveway with money your mom gave you to put in the mailbox for the milkman is likely a cherished memory that's often untold. Cap guns. Now, who wouldn't want to play cop with a cap gun? Cap guns are toy firearms that make a popping sound when fired. Using small circular paper caps filled with a small amount of gunpowder, these guns replicated a real firearm. This allowed children to imagine that they were part of TV Westerns. They were widely available in toy stores, department stores, and supermarkets, and often featured in holiday catalogs, which made them a popular gift choice for birthdays and Christmas. There were different kinds of cap guns. However, the revolver cap guns were often adored by everyone, as they would rarely miss the cap. After a long session of playing with cap guns, kids often crushed the whole roll of caps between two cinder blocks. You can just imagine the sound. 50s cars. The 1950s would mark the beginning of technological improvements, and cars would play an important role in setting trends while initiating ideas for new inventions. The vehicles of the 50s are often remembered for their flamboyant designs, which included features like tail fins, chrome detailing, and vibrant colors. Cars like the Chevy Bel Air, the Ford Thunderbird, and the Cadillac Eldorado became cultural symbols, featured prominently in movies, music, and advertising, which contributed to their iconic status. If you're wondering how it felt to drive a car in the 1950s, many people say that it was less powerful. The throttle and braking systems were rougher and tougher than those of today. But crash tests were not really a thing back then, so if a manufacturer wanted to change a dashboard or swap in a different fender, they just did it. Sears Catalogs. Shopping can be considered a never-ending cycle in every generation. However, accessibility made it easier with the Sears Catalog. The Sears Catalog included its history, significance, and cultural impact, was today's online surfing and shopping, but in book form. It eventually became an important feature of many homes. Writing code numbers, cost names, and page numbers created a shopping experience that no online retailer could ever replicate. The catalog featured a wide array of products from clothing and household items to tools and appliances, and many families relied on it for their essential purchases. Sears Catalog sales surged during every holiday season, as it was one of the best resources for gifts and shopping. Prices in the catalog were affordable, and customers could find a good deal on a wide range of items. Shoppers just couldn't see anyone's actual reviews or pictures of the products they received, unlike today's online shopping.
It's Howdy Duty time.
Howdy Duty. A television show that left an everlasting impression on kids in the 1950s was Howdy Duty. The beloved program featured Howdy Duty, a puppet character with a freckled face and lovable personality, alongside a cast of puppet friends and human characters. The show's format combined live action and puppetry, creating a unique viewing experience. Howdy Doody became so popular that it even promoted Kellogg's Rice Krispies. While the current generation may find it somewhat creepy, he was adored by many children of his time. The show conveyed morality lessons and positive values like friendship, honesty, and creativity, providing wholesome entertainment for young viewers. Bomb drills. During the era of the Cold War, bomb drills became a significant practice in America due to the prevailing threat of nuclear attacks. The U.S. government initiated various civil defense programs to prepare their citizens for a potential nuclear strike, leading to the widespread implementation of bomb drills in schools, workplaces, and communities. The phrase of duck and cover became popular during this time. While this method may not have provided direct protection from a nuclear strike, it aimed to shield children from falling debris, flying glass, and other shrapnel caused by a blast wave or a structural shaking. Bomb drills became routine in schools across the United States, where children got under their desks or moved to a designated safe area in the building. Sock hops. Sock hops, as the name would suggest, involve teenagers dancing in their socks after having removed their shoes. These lively social dances were primarily held in high school gymnasiums and became a popular aspect of youth culture in the 1950s. Typically hosted on a Friday night, sock hops drew in large crowds who were eager to dance to the latest rock and roll hits. The fashion at sock hops played a significant role in the experience. Girls often wore poodle skirts, while the boys sported leather jackets and slick-back hairstyles. While most teenagers eagerly participated, not everyone felt inclined to join in. Some preferred to remain outside of the spotlight, feeling like they didn't fit in with the lively atmosphere. Tupperware parties. Tupperware parties became an iconic thing amongst middle-class women in America during the 1950s. The gatherings provided a space for women to socialize, build community ties, and enjoy a fun evening out with friends. Hosts would typically arrange food, drinks, and a cozy ambiance to create an inviting atmosphere. Many women embraced the opportunity to become Tupperware consultants, allowing them to earn income while working from home and building their own businesses. One of the most beloved features of the product was the burping sealed lids, which ensured freshness and convenience. They were considered premium items, with prices in the 50s ranging from a few dollars for basics to higher amounts for a complete set or a specialty item. Thinking about the fact that Tupperware could have possibly outlived the host certainly sounds staggering and shows its durability. Penny candy. Penny candy refers to inexpensive treats that were widely available even in the smallest of stores. Typically sold for less than 5 cents, it featured a wide variety of candies. While richer children may go for the pricier option, penny candy offered something for everyone. It came in various options including gummies, licorice, jawbreakers, and more. And candy cigarettes in particular allowed children to pretend like they were smoking, mimicking the adults in a light-hearted manner. The low price point made it easy for children to indulge in sweet treats without the need for much money, offering them a wide selection of delicious options to choose from. Which one of these do you remember like it was yesterday? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a memory in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.